Welcome into the Fan Addict Sports Channel for sports fans by a sports fan. It's your boy Coach I, where my dog's at. All right, today we in here to talk about the coaching carousel and the fallout that's coming afterwards, man. It's been a wild couple of days since the rivalry weekend, and I'm gonna go ahead and before we get started, man, if y'all like the sports content we've been giving out so far and want some more going forward, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Share the videos, tell a friend to tell a friend, man. And for those that's already subscribed or viewing or supporting the channel, we definitely appreciate you here, man. But to get in today, we'll be talking about Lincoln Riley, Billy Napier, Brian Kelly, other jobs where they've hired or fired somebody, contract renegotiations, everything. So stay tuned down there. I will have the video timestamp, so if you just want to know about a particular coach, just look along the timeline and then you will see what you're looking for. If you're on social media, you can find me at the Fan Addict. I think that's right there. Right there, the Fan Addict on Facebook, and Fan Addict Sports at Fan Addict Sports on Instagram and Twitter. Without further ado, let's get on it, man. We bring my boy in here, Jeff the Stat Guy. What's going on, Jeff? Hey, man,
Yo, what's
it's
good,
been
Coach?
crazy out there, man. It's wild and wacky, man. And listen, all I know is college football. I'm sad it's coming to an end. I can't believe it's already the championship week. But at least the coaching carousel is keeping it interesting.
Hey, man, these coaches nowadays say
Hey, they
kids want
say,
to do it, we'll
hey,
do it too.
if y'all can get the one-time transfer, so can we. And some of these dudes are breaking the bank, man. Like, I'm telling you, man, I don't know. Maybe it was Jimbo's contract, when he first went to Texas A&M, but now coaches are getting paid stupid money, man. Let's go ahead and talk about the first one. Lincoln Riley, bro. Lincoln Riley was connected in rumor, to being the lead candidate at LSU. He comes out after the game Saturday and said, I will not be the coach at LSU. Well, I guess he was kind of telling the truth because he already knew that he was going to be the coach at SC.
Hey, man, but with the money they threw at that man, when you give him $1 million more for his two houses in Norman than what he was asking for,
hey, money
talks.
Money talks, dog. Like,
and
the thing about it is, yeah, he got extra money, but the thing is, he don't even have to worry about hiring no agent or nothing to sell the houses and all that stuff. Then they bought him a $6 million house in L.A. and gave him access to the private jet for him and his family just to use as their own leisure.
Hey, but you know what the biggest part of that is? You don't play SEC competition year in and year out. We know OU is coming to the SEC. LSU already there. My man said, I want no part of that. Send me out to the WAC-12 and
Well,
let
one
me
thing
bust
I
up on
had
them
read
clowns for a
about
little
that,
bit.
man, is that neither he nor the AD was, happy about the timing of the whole Oklahoma going to going to the SEC. And then Lincoln Riley apparently was a guy who was really big on getting things done his way, almost like kind of having like autonomy, like kind of like Urban Meyer. You know what I'm saying? And the AD was like, I don't know if we want to give you all that kind of power. And, that coupled with the money that they was, throwing at him, it just was, for Lincoln Riley anyway, it was a no-brainer.
Well, I mean, honestly, for the school, it might be a no-brainer. You look at it, they've had issues keeping in-state talent at home, and we know the state of California is loaded. I mean, we've talked about it off air. I mean, just the amount of quarterbacks, receivers that are at all these other schools. I mean, you got DJU, Clemson's got 2 wide receivers from out there. I believe Georgia's got a couple players from out west. I mean, man, that dude can recruit no matter where. Since he left Oklahoma, they've already had 5 decommitments, all of them from the state of from California. So it's like, he's gonna lock that thing down, and it might get
Lincoln
scary
Riley
quick. Sleeping
with
giant.
One thing with the California talent, and the California talent is normally like skill players, quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers. They have defensive players too, but that's what you think about. I mean, like when you're talking about quarterbacks, you're talking about Matt Corrals from there. or out in California. JT Daniels, like you said, DJU. I think Bryce Young is from California. It's like all Lincoln Riley needs is he already got the guy that was committed to Oklahoma. He decommitted the same day that he heard about Lincoln Riley, and the next day he committed to SC. Malachi Nelson. He's the number one quarterback in 2023. So I'm
Yep.
interested to see who's gonna follow him, if either are gonna follow him, Caleb Williams or Spencer Rattler. I know people are like, why would Spencer Rattler follow him? I mean, he did recruit Spencer Rattler. Just because he felt like Caleb Williams was better doesn't mean he like if Caleb Williams say he ain't coming, it's not like he wouldn't want Spencer Rattler. You know what I'm saying? He benched Caleb Williams for Spencer Rattler in one of those games. So I mean, it's crazy out there. I think it was a good move for Lincoln Riley. You gotta think, man. It's like if he's coming to the SEC in Oklahoma, yes, Oklahoma can still be good, but your path is so much harder when you have to, regardless of whether they do pods or keep it, east west, whatever. You still got to go through, LSU, Texas A&M, Alabama, Texas if they ever get back,
Georgia at some point.
Auburn is still got athletes. Georgia on the other side, Florida whenever they get back, Josh Heupel's got Tennessee's offense rolling. So, I mean, if I'm Lincoln Riley, when you talking about that kind of money, now his like great grandkids shouldn't have to. They's paying that dude some money, dog.
Hey, but if you're USC, they got their guy, and we talk about fit and the different things that play into that. That dude ain't gonna be scared of LA. He's gonna recruit the heck out of it. Now you got the NIL on top of it. It's not a hard place to sell, and he should win right away. I mean, they weren't horrible this year. I mean, they competed. They were in some games. They were in the BYU game there at the end of the year late. I mean, they're gonna compete. The question is it 2 years or 3 until we see
I was
USC
about
in
to
the
say
playoffs?
probably
Because
too.
it's happening.
I'm predicting that Lincoln Riley is gonna challenge for his division next year, and possibly the actual Pac-12. So, like you said, the NIL that's I mean it's LA. What better place to try to sell NIL to athletes and try to lock down the borders? If he literally just locks down California, he's gonna be competitive just on that alone. Then you got Brian Kelly, another person who essentially to the players left like a thief in the night. Now, I did see some podcasts with a couple of the Notre Dame players. They didn't seem too upset about it because, of course, they say it now, but they wasn't like the guy I saw from OU. When I told you off camera, Lincoln Riley said that USC is gonna be the new mecca of college football, and the OU player tweeted it out, the screenshot, and was like, "Yeah, you told us that about OU last night." So he was a little salty. The Notre Dame players didn't seem salty. They was just like, they heard about it through social media, or at least how social media was portraying it. That was about it. They was like, we committed to Notre Dame. We didn't really commit to the coach. We respect Brian Kelly, but you haven't seen anybody say that I'm gonna be in the portal since Brian Kelly, not from Notre Dame. You know what I'm saying? Not that already wasn't in the portal.
Right. Well, the only good snippet I saw of the Notre Dame thing was the assistant that had just left a recruit's house right when the news broke that night, and he's like, man, you got me in here talking to this kid. I walk out the door, it pops across ESPN. Now I look like a butthole. Like, oh man. So I don't know who that assistant is, but I know he
No,
won't be
it
going to
seems like
LSU.
Brian Kelly's already he's already reached out to Marcus Freeman of DC and OC, the offensive coordinator, to come to LSU. He's trying. He said if Marcus Freeman comes to LSU, he's going to make him the highest paid DC in the country. So, but I think Marcus Freeman, with that said, man, Marcus Freeman might have a decision. I don't know what path or direction Notre Dame's going in, but Marcus Freeman, he might get offered a Notre Dame job. I don't know. We'll get into that a little bit later, but
Right.
this is the thing that's going around about Brian Kelly now. Was it a smart decision or a better decision, Notre Dame or LSU? What you think?
Man, I kind of went back and forth on that because I was kind of shocked when he left, but man, LSU, even in their down years, competes. They always loaded on the defensive side with talent. Same thing kind of with with Lincoln Riley in California, if he shuts the borders to Louisiana, oh my God. I mean, the talent that's there is ridiculous. I mean, just to look at the talent level that comes out of that state year in and year out that doesn't stay home. And when kids leave, they turn out big time names anyway. So it's like if he can shut the state down and make it impossible to go to Louisiana and get a 4 or 5 star, like you got to go get a 3-star if you want somebody. LSU going to be a tough place to go
Listen,
play. And we know the man can coach.
he's won
We know
everywhere. He
the man
won
can
at Central
coach.
Michigan, he won at Cincinnati, he's won
Yep.
at Notre Dame. And I feel like he's been coaching for 30 years, man. I feel like Brian Kelly is like, all right, I've made the playoffs now, I think 4 times out of the years they've been doing it. And he's like, I just don't have at the end of the season when it come time for the playoffs, I don't have the Jimmys and Joes to compete with the Alabamas, with the Ohio States, with the Clemsons, and it's shown, you know what I'm saying? And I think he like, man, I want a chip, you know. And the thing is, like, now don't get it twisted. Now I think LSU backed up the Brinks truck to the doorstep because I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard they trying to pay him with bonuses, TV money, and all that, like up to all total like 15 mil a year. So I mean that's a decider too. But like you said, you go down to LSU, man. Les Miles won a championship at LSU, bro. Like, I mean that's how deep.
Hey, man. We're not going to hate on the Mad Hatter around
I'm
here.
just saying, Les Miles ain't Brian Kelly. You know what I'm saying? Brian Kelly is a much better coach.
Right.
And you go down there, like right now, if everybody's healthy, you can even take the transfer portal people out at LSU. If everybody's healthy, their team right now is already better than Notre Dame when you're talking about talent. Already. That's not even counting whoever he can recruit, you know. Like you said, the college football coaching black, what'd you call it, Black Monday? Like, you know what I'm saying, with all the coaches get fired and stuff, and you got the first National Signing Day coming up. I think it's either on the 14th or the 15th. Brian Kelly can do some damage, and I'm going to make some Aggie fans mad, but I know y'all was thinking Jimbo was going to be the next, you know, dominant person in the West, but I'm sorry to tell you, LSU talent with Brian Kelly, listen, Brian Kelly is 2 years. He already gonna be in the talks of winning the SEC and you know getting a playoff spot. Now, if the playoffs don't expand, which I think they already said that they're guaranteed to either go to 8 or 12 or whatever. But if they was to stay at 4, that's a bad move because again, you have to battle Alabama, LSU, Ole Miss, you know Auburn. But expanding to 8 or 12. It's almost a guarantee that this dude gonna be in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? With better talent.
Well, and then you start to look at it, and because this is something we haven't seen before with the playoffs. So far, the playoffs is chalked. You've had your 2 best teams in the championship every year, and normally the team that we thought going into the playoffs was the best team won the national title. And so it's like it's not March Madness where a good team gets hot at the right time and runs the table. Man, you expand football to 8 or 12, we might start seeing some upsets, or you may see somebody get slipped up and knocked off, and it gives somebody that easier path. Just a couple more games you got to win. Gonna have to be focused, but he's definitely gonna have them there on the brink of it to where they're gonna be fighting for that opportunity. Definitely ain't gonna lay it down.
Just got hired. It's like all of them was doing this hiring at the same time, man. Billy Napier down at Florida. Now, Billy Napier, you know, he won. I want to say he won his conference championship all 4 or 5 years, or at least he played in the conference championship area for all 4 or 5 years he was at Louisiana. What?
They didn't
He's
win
not
the Sun
playing
Belt
in the
this year.
championship?
I don't think they're playing for the championship this year.
I think his first 3 to 4 years. I don't know exactly how long he's been there. I think you know he coached from 2008 to 2010 under Dabo and got let go, and then he was at Alabama coaching wide receivers. I think it was for a little while, and then he went to Louisiana. I mean, he pretty much did good in that in that conference or whatever. So. They say he got some Florida ties. I don't know where the dude's originally from. I think he could be a good coach, but I think I told you this off air. As a Georgia fan, I'm just glad it was because Lane Kiffin's name was floating out there. I'm like, please don't let Lane Kiffin go to Florida. I don't want to have to play that dude like every single year for the SEC East. I'm not saying that Billy Napier can't win it. I'm just saying that you got an uphill battle to fight, and your name doesn't carry that weight like a Kirby Smart. You know what I'm saying? Or even if Dan Mullen could have just
Well,
hired somebody that could recruit, like an assistant that could recruit, Dan Mullen would have maybe been a better option than Billy Napier. To be honest, I don't even like Dan Mullen, so you know how hard that is for me to say.
so here's my issue with that hire is we know Florida fans, they want to win now. They forget they only got what, two national championships, three national championships. They act like they got 20. So Florida fans are a delusional bunch in their own right. And so now you hire a coach, you still don't have a quarterback, right? AR-15 ain't it. Emory Jones is probably one of the biggest busts that we've seen in recent years. So you don't have a quarterback. Your Their offense is kind of vanilla. Don't really have the skill players outside. Well, I mean, they don't have anybody to get them the ball, and the defense isn't as good as it's been in past years when the defense carried them to make up for some of that offensive lacking. And so now you bring a guy in. It wasn't like this dude was going out getting 4 stars to come to Louisiana Lafayette. So now you're recruiting different kids. Yeah, you were hitting and you were coaching good on your 2s and 3s that you were getting, but now you're going after the 4s and 5s with the other behemoths of the world. Can
Well,
you get them to come to Florida?
that's what I
Can
like.
you
The
sell the
thing is,
program?
with any coach in Florida, whether it's FSU, Florida, Miami, UCF, if they can just lock down the state, or at least get so many of these kids not to leave the state, that would be beneficial. That's going to be his biggest, number one priority, biggest test. I think AR-15 could be good. I think he's better than Emory Jones. I think this year he was just young. He basically looked his worst against Georgia, but I mean, you started a guy. That's not the situation you should start a freshman against the number one defense in the nation. That
Right.
wasn't good.
Yeah, but so but then you're telling me too that your quarterback of the future tweaked his knee dancing in the hotel the Friday night before the South Carolina game and got your butts rolled. Like, come on, dog. Like
What?
that can't be your guy.
What?
You know what I'm saying? Like that's a huge freshman
Hey
mistake. And
man,
it's
we
like,
don't know
what
what
are
kind
you
of
doing?
dancing he was doing, and Billy Napier, from what I hear, runs his program a little bit tighter than Dan Mullen, so maybe he'll have that under control. And if Anthony Richardson can be healthy, I think he's shown flashes that he can be a decent quarterback. I'm not saying he's gonna go out there and be Cal Trask or anything like. First of all, you got to have the weapons that Cal Trask had. So again, this is what I'm saying. Like, he has to go out there, even if he says, "Okay, AR-15 is my, he's my quarterback. So let me now go find some running backs. Let me go find number one wide receiver. That type of deal. And who he hires for DC and OC going to make a difference as well." Listen, at Florida's another one of these sleeping giants, man. If the administration has to decide that they want, you can't just want it. You got to show it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a friend that's a Florida fan, and he was like, "Man, the facilities they don't even look like the rest of the big boys." And I'm like, I didn't know that because I ain't never been to Gainesville, so that's kind of shocking. So the administration got to show that they want to be, top dog. So I mean,
Hmm.
you can hire Billy Napier. Like I said, I'm just glad it wasn't Kiffin as a Georgia fan, because Kiffin can do a lot more with a lot less. And then you go down there and you start adding these Florida athletes. I not want to see that. So, man, but I'm hoping that Lane Kiffin, there's been rumors that Manny Diaz down in Miami is on the hot seat. So I'm hoping Lane Kiffin is holding out for a job like that so he can go down there and run the ACC.
Well, not only that though, but if he goes to Miami, then it also shuts down recruits that Florida would be hoping to get, because I'm going to take Lane Kiffin to out recruit anybody
That's
else
true.
in the
That's
state of
true.
Florida right
So
now.
other schools that's made moves or need to make moves, Virginia Tech has hired Brent Pry, I think his name is, the defensive coordinator the last 4 years at Penn State. Now the thing is, at one point, Virginia Tech, when Frank Beamer was there, man, Virginia Tech, all right, man, listen, man, they was good. They was always in the conversation. During the BCS days, Frank Beamer had them in the conversation. They went out and got Justin Fuentes, who was a coordinator. How'd that work out for him? You know what I'm saying? And now, I'm not saying Brent
Bust.
Pry can't be a good dude, but like, I just feel like Virginia Tech
I-
can demand a lot more than a defensive coordinator. You know what I'm saying? Like of Brent Pry's notoriety
Oh,
or lack thereof.
oh, and so for me, it's not a horrible hire. It's not a horrible hire. I mean, Penn State's had great defenses. So I mean, it's not like, oh man, y'all swung and missed on this. But 3 years from now, we could look back on this and be like, man, y'all swung and missed on this. Like, it's not that name that's like earth shattering. Like, oh man, look out for my tech. Like everybody right now, USC is going to be problematic in 2 years. Um, Florida went out and got the guy that they said was their
Man,
guy. That's who they wanted. Whether it's true or not,
man,
they're saying the right things about
Virginia
it.
Tech should have
But
hired
Va
Dan
Tech,
Mullen.
it's like, hey, Mike Bobo's out
Yeah.
there.
I don't know, man. I don't know if anybody's gonna take a chance on Bobo. He didn't look too good down there at Auburn. He didn't look good in his. I mean, both of them were short lived, but he didn't look good at Auburn. He didn't look good at South Carolina, and then out there at Colorado State, he didn't really look good. He hasn't actually looked good since the last 3 to 4 years of his tenure at Georgia, when he was putting up. Our offense was averaging like 35 or so. So I don't know. Maybe somebody.
Now, if you now you want to talk about a landing spot for him, I see him becoming an offensive analyst for y'all. Um, I think Kirby gives him the homie hookup and gives him a job, but and then until something opens up. But that's what I don't see him getting an official job this winter. I think he's gonna have to take
Yeah.
an analyst job somewhere, take a huge pay cut, and just be
I
thankful
can
to
see
still be
that. I
around the
can see
game.
that. You got TCU hired Sonny Dykes away from wasn't he at the yeah, he was at SMU.
SMU.
So I actually thought they were gonna go out there, I want to say I thought they was gonna go after not Lincoln Riley, but I thought they was gonna go after Lane Kiffin. Not Lane Kiffin, because he wouldn't leave. Oh, it was another coach I thought was up, but Sonny Dykes seems to be a decent hire. TCU, they're kind of like, I don't know. Sometimes TCU was good under what was the guy? Garrison Patterson. Yeah,
Gary
sometimes it
Patterson.
wasn't. So we'll see what Sonny Dice can do. I'm not really like on top of that one. All.
That's that's a it's just it's another one that it's like, I mean, on paper it doesn't look like a horrible hire, but it's not that when you have some of the moves we've seen in the last few days, it's not that earth shattering name. It's kind of got swept under the rug a little bit because of some of the names that have moved already and some of the names that are being talked about with job openings that are still there
Maybe
that could
Bobo,
potentially
if
become
I
open.
don't know, maybe, and if you guys, if TCU fans or somebody already know who SMU fans are watching, they know who. If they've already hired somebody, I don't know, but maybe Bobo can get a shot at SMU. I don't know. Some of these, like, that's the thing about it. When coaches leave jobs, that creates spots at the job where they left. Just like OU and Notre Dame are now looking for
Hmm.
coaches. I saw something this morning, and I actually heard it yesterday on ESPN, and I saw it. So this morning, it's like OU, one of the candidates could be Brent Venables, of course, because he already was the DC there at one point. And this is just people floating names out there. Josh Heupel, I don't know, but I also heard his departure from OU wasn't all that great when he left there, but he was the offensive coordinator there at one point. And I actually saw this morning somebody wrote Shane Beamer because he coached like 2 years or 2 or 3 years under Lincoln. I think he could like 2 or 3 years under Lincoln Riley. Listen, hey, no,
Hey man,
I'm not even
Beamer
throwing
ain't
shade at South Carolina, but Beamer ain't done nothing to deserve a job at OU. I'm sorry. Listen, I know y'all won 4 games 2 years ago. Y'all won 2 last year, and he took y'all to a bowl game this year. That in itself is not enough to get a job at OU. OU is a blue blood. I'm sorry.
yeah, no, I don't see Beamer leaving. I don't think that's happening. The name that I love that I hear, and I don't think it's gonna happen either, would obviously be Brent Venables. Get him the far away from South Carolina as possible.
You
I would
saying
love that.
you saying if they
But
if
I
they
don't think
offer Beamer
but I
that
don't
he won't leave South Carolina for Oklahoma? Oh, okay, that's what you're saying.
they're not gonna
Okay.
offer. They're not gonna offer. Yeah, yeah. No, yes, if they offer Beamer, then clearly they want him, and it then becomes a battle of the Brinks truck. And look, I love Turner as a baseball coach. I don't trust the man as an AD, and he'll find a way to pooch that. And so then we'll be sitting here
hiring Mike
hiring
Bobo.
some hoo-ah. So, yeah, yeah. Hey, Bobo,
After
we got a head coaching
after
job. Come
y'all
on
done
back, baby.
trashed my
The
man
fans hit
on
me when they
Twitter before y'all played Auburn, man.
the fans hit me when they said it's okay.
Who you
They'll love
think?
to have you
See,
back.
Notre Dame, I think Notre
Hey,
Dame candidates are Luke Fickell, of course, Marcus Freeman, Matt Campbell. I think Matt Campbell from Iowa State. They keep saying that. He's it's Iowa State, man. If another big time program can come, I think he'll leave Iowa State. There's one name out there that doesn't seem to,
yeah,
Jamie Chadwell down at Coastal Carolina. I heard a guy on the radio say that he thinks that he doesn't get all the offers or the looks because he literally wants to bring his whole entire staff with him. And not all schools are willing to do that because you need to have some holdovers from the previous staff so that the kids that are already there feel comfortable. Yeah, feel comfortable
don't all
staying
up and leave.
and things of that nature. Plus, they already know the area or the recruiting tendencies of the program. You got to have some holdovers. So I get it. I like the dude's mentality. Like, look, when I come up, he told his staff, when I come up, y'all come up. You know what I'm saying? But that could be hindering him from getting one of those big jobs.
Now, what I could see open up is if Luke Fickell leaves Cincinnati to go to Notre Dame. Cincinnati is a place that could come calling to him.
That is true. Cincinnati, now you got to go up there. He's a winner now, but you got to go. I don't know if he wants to go to Cincinnati, but hey, it's I don't know. Like, okay, currently, yes, Cincinnati is a bigger program, but isn't Cincinnati like last year? Wasn't Cincinnati and Coastal kind of like in the same position with the same chances of getting in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean,
so he leave Coastal for Cincinnati.
So yeah, but since he's fixing to go Big 12, and that shuts all that down. So that closes that opens that door a lot more for Cincinnati with Texas and Oklahoma leaving the Big 12.
So who goes to Louisiana now that Billy Napier's gone? Maybe that's a spot for Bobo. I'm gonna get my boy Bobo in a spot.
There you go. That could be. Honestly, like all these, like Pry going to Va Tech, like, man, I would expect a job more like that. We see a lot more coordinators now getting their first head coaching opportunities at Power 5 schools. I mean, Beamer didn't have any head coaching experience and went from being wasn't even the offensive coordinator.
South Carolina say if Clemson can do it, we can do it.
Hey, man, get out of here. Told you you're not going to make me throw stuff early in the morning. We're not doing that today. Get under my skin all you want. But no, but going back to Notre Dame, if I'm Notre Dame, I want Luke Fickell over Marcus Freeman. Why not take a winning head coach over a guy that was his defensive coordinator and was now Notre Dame's defensive coordinator for 1 year? Like, don't you want the head coaching guy first? Like, so, and we'll see. And then obviously, if Brian Kelly gets Marcus Freeman the money that they're talking about him potentially getting, he would be dumb not to do that anyway. He don't
have the pressure of being the head coach. He can just be the DC and get all that talent that Louisiana State got down there. But all these moves are causing people, one thing about the administration, if they got a coach they like and they start seeing a whole bunch of coaches moving and jobs coming open, they start opening up them checkbooks. Mark Stoops like, yo, I'm just saying, and you was right when we.
My brother coached in Oklahoma.
So the administration said, we got you, dog. And you was right. It is through 2027. I thought it was 2028, but they extended him through 2027. I mean, you got Mel Tucker. Like, I want to say when Florida was talking about firing, when it was rumors about Florida firing Dan Mullen, that's when Michigan State was like,
Dan Mullen.
Got to lock him up. So they locked up Mel Tucker, you know what I'm saying? And then
10 years, 95
even
million.
Though I know Kirby ain't going nowhere, we win the SEC championship. I'm just letting you know Kirby's getting the re-up, baby. Kirby's getting the re-up. So and then if he wins,
but he's already at his dream job, so y'all got a little bit more of a luxury.
Yeah, he ain't going nowhere. Like he's home. When LSU first came open, The guy RJ Young, I like watching his show. Dude, hella energetic, you know what I'm saying? Entertaining too. He was like, if you LSU, other than Nick Saban, you know, if they call you, you pick up the phone. I'm like, not Kirby, dog. Kirby played at Georgia. He's a Georgia alum. Yeah, he studied under Nick Saban, but he ain't going to LSU he already done built what he needs to build in Athens at his alma mater. So he's not gonna leave. I'm not worried about Kirby. When Kirby's not the coach at Georgia, he's either one of two things. He's either retired or he got fired. One of the two. He's not leaving. So I'm not worried.
You don't think one day he becomes AD?
That could be the third.
That could be the third.
So that's yeah, kind of like Vince Dooley did. I could see that. You know what I'm saying? Because like I say, Kirby's he's where he wants to be. I don't see. Speaking of, I don't see. Of course, Nick Saban is either going to do that. He's going to either retire or become the AD, which I don't think he wants to be. He's too. I don't think. See, Kirby and Nick Saban, they're like so competitive. They want to be and so hands on. I don't know if they want to be that, and it could change over time. You never know. But Saban's 70. You know what I'm saying? I don't see Saban saying he wants to be the AD, but I don't think. I mean, he's definitely not going anywhere. I don't think Kirby's going anywhere. And contrary to popular belief, I personally don't believe Dabo's ever going anywhere. Like, even when Saban retires, I don't think Dabo is going to Alabama. I know a lot of people is like, oh, he's going to be the next coach. Dabo.
So you don't think in 4 years from now when they're finishing their third straight 7-5 that they're not out front?
First of all, it's the ACC. He's not going 75. I'm sorry to disappoint you, Jeff. But Dabo, you know, Danny Ford did it for a longer period of time, you know, 25 years. His winning percentage was like 72% or something like that. It's crazy. Got one natty. Dabo's done it for about 10 years now. He's like 80% wins. Got two natties. You know, not to say he won't win another one. I mean, there's a case to be made that Dabo's the best Clemson, you know, coach ever. So why do you know, when you leave to go somewhere, you go for a bigger, better opportunity. He's never going to be bigger than Saban and or Bear Bryant. You know what I'm saying? He's just another cog in the wheel. Same thing. I mean, honestly, same thing with Lincoln Riley. Until you win a natty, you're not bigger than Barry Switzer or Bob Stoops. You're just the next dude. You know, like he's gonna have to win at USC too, though. But for the amount of money they was paying him, I'll be willing to be the next dude. That's different.
Yeah. Well, and you look at who he's following at USC too. Like, obviously he's competing to be the next Pete Carroll, but it's like Stark ran out of town. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Clayton ran out of town. Like, I mean, so it's not like he's going up against somebody that just retired that was that guy. Like, there's been a couple of just cogs now to where now he can just get in there and roll the thing, and he's playing with house money, and that's a dangerous thing for Lincoln Riley. A lot of those
wins was vacated under Pete Carroll. I'm just saying. I'm not saying they did anything wrong. We know. We watched the games. We know who's the best team. I'm just saying that in the books, they're vacated. So he has a chance to be up there. I don't know about, you know, back in the 40s and 50s and all that stuff, but he's got a chance to be one of the guys that, you know, go down in USC history. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, man. Go ahead.
Well, so who do you like for OU?
Who do I think should go, or who do I think could go?
Either. I mean, we talked about the possibilities. Who you think?
I don't know, man, because they're coming to. If they were staying in the Big 12, honestly, you know, I think Lincoln Riley may have stayed. You know, they did they did pay him a lot of money at USC, but being in the Big 12 is different than being in the SEC because it's just such a harder path. Not saying they can't do it because OU is blue blood. I mean, honestly, if I'm Brent Venables, if I ever want to be a head coach, I don't know if he does. This is the perfect opportunity. You know what I'm saying? I think he's aggressive enough to coach in the SEC. I think Clemson plays a SEC style football. He's been one of the best defense coordinators the last, you know, whatever years he's been at Clemson. He already has history with OU. I honestly can't see a better candidate other than maybe Matt Campbell because he already has head coaching experience. But we talked about Luke Fickell going to Notre Dame. How do we know that OU ain't going to go after Luke Fickell? You know, you got
True. Well, and so I guess my thing with that, man, is he's like it. We go back
Yeah.
to it being a fit. Like OU recruits more on like the national level, and so does Notre Dame for the most part. But with where he is, he's comfortable recruiting that area up there. I mean, Ohio, Indiana, you know what I'm saying? Like he's comfortable recruiting that area, and that's
I
kind of where
think
his ties are.
whoever's
So,
going to go
but yeah,
has to
obviously,
have some Texas ties. So the state of Texas, because that's OU recruits a lot of the state of Texas. So honestly, man, I don't even know who else out there. Jamie Chadwell. I mean, he's a good coach, but he wants to bring his whole staff. So I don't know if they're gonna go after the guy. You know what I'm saying? Um,
well, if it was Jamie Chadwell, the one cool thing about that is I guess then they could change Bedlam to the Battle of the Mullet and just let him and Mike Gundy fight it out. Maybe they just arm wrestle at midfield or
I
something and
mean,
give the trophy away. I
they're
don't know,
looking to give
but that'd be those two.
a coordinator a shot, up and comer, then I mean, Dan Lanning at Georgia. Dan Lanning, if I'm not mistaken, Dan Lanning is from Midwest. You know what I'm saying? So that means if I'm not mistaken, I could be incorrect in that, but I think he is from somewhere in the Midwest. So I mean, we already know the dude can coach defense. You know, I'd hate to lose him, but I think Will Muschamp will just slide right in his spot and we'll be fine. So you think, like I say, I think Brent Venables. I think that may be why people are saying, like, whispering Shane Beamer, because it's like, who else is out there to go fill? I think it's pretty clear that Notre Dame, in our opinion, that Notre Dame is either gonna be Marcus Freeman, the OC, or Luke Fickell. I think those are the three candidates for the Notre Dame job. You know what I'm saying? Matt Campbell's floating out there. He could be, Iowa. I mean, he could be Oklahoma or Notre Dame. Then you got Brent Venables. You got Dan Lanning. Like I said, he's an up and comer. He was. We forgot about Duke is looking for a head coach. Duke's looking for a head coach. You know what I'm saying? So, Mike Bobo. Hey, man, we got to get him somewhere, baby. Hey, Duke don't have Duke don't have them high expectations, man. You just come in there, you win 3 or 4 games a year. I think you'll be good.
Hey, don't tell Kevo that.
Sorry about that, Kevo, especially right after Ohio State just beat the Dukies. So in basketball, I know he's having a rough go of it today. So, man, with that said, man, I appreciate you coming back in the Fan Addict as always, man. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Share the video. Tell a friend to tell a friend. If we had any of that information incorrect, let us know in the comments. Until next time, this is for Jeff the Stat Guy. This is Coach I, Fan Addict. We out of here.